નમસ્કાર, હું આદર્શ છું. વેલકમ ટુ આદર્શ એજ્યુકેશન સોસાયટી. Dear children, continues of chapter number 4. Our next topic is expansion of the British rule in India. Our next topic is expansion of British rule in India. After finalizing the subsidiary alliance treaty with Mysore, Nizam of Hyderabad and Maratha chieftains, the British moved towards the northern part of the India. Now, dear children, what happened there? Here, after the finalizing of the subsidiary alliance policy, and we know very well that the subsidiary alliance policy was started by the Lord Wellesley. Now, the Britishers moved towards the northern part of the India. They entered into a treaty of friendship with Nepal, sensing a threat from it. And now what happened that year? The Britishers started the treaty with friendship with the Nepal. Why? Because the Nepal given the threat from it. What was the meaning of the threat? Threat, it means dhamki dena. They fought the many battle to secure the frontiers. What happened there? Here they fought the many battle with their frontiers and maintained the friendly relationship with the Sikh king Maharaja Ranjit Singh. What happened there? Here the Britishers maintained a good relationship, friendly relationship with the Sikh king Maharaja Ranjit Singh and helped them to win the battle with the Afghan and establish their rule in the Sindh. What happened there? Britishers maintained the friendly relationship with the Sikh king Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and also Britishers helped the Maharaja Ranjit Singh to win the battle with the Afghan and establish their rule in the Sindh. The Britishers had an ambition to capture the Sikh kingdom, which was a very powerful kingdom. Britisher has also the one kind of the ambition, it means the mahatvakanksha, to capture the Sikh kingdom, which was very powerful kingdom, but they could not do so as long as Maharaja Ranjit Singh was alive. But these things was not done by the Britisher as long as when the Maharaja Ranjit Singh was alive. So they kept a friendly relationship with Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh was a strong ruler of that time. Dear children, this is the most important thing. Maharaja Ranjit Singh was a strong ruler of that time. He had set up a strong army with the help of the European officer for the protection of his states. He had attained the victories over many nearby states. After his death, Punjab suffered the anarchy. Now what happened there? After the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, now the Punjab suffering from the anarchy. What was the meaning of anarchy? Anarchy, it means the arajakta. Governor General Sir Henry Hoddix came to the India and brought the Sikh rule completely under the British rule. Now what happened? After the Governor General Sir Henry Hardy came to the India and brought the Sikh rule completely under the British rule after the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and with the policy of the interference and the annexation. After, dear children, they have to given about the Dalhousie policy of the annexation. Up to this, we are learning about the policies of the subsidiary alliance policy, and this subsidiary alliance policy was started by the Lord Wellesley. Now we have to learn about the Dalhousie policy of the annexation. It means both policies are different one. Here now we learn about the Dalhousie policy of the annexation, and you know very well what was the meaning of annexation. Annexation, it means Rajya Haran. The aim of Wellesley policy of expansion, here we know very well that the aim of Wellesley policy was expansion, was to enslave the native kingdom. What they have to done? They have to enslave. Enslave, it means the gulam banana, the native kingdom, without using so much of the British resources. Here they are not using their more British resources, and they have to enslave their native kingdom. This is the policy of the Wellesley. Already we are learning. The state that accept the subsidiary alliance consider the British as their friend. Now, dear children, what happened that here? Whatever the state who accept the subsidiary alliance consider as a British as their friend. Eventually, in the absence of the internal and external threat, they become the irresponsible and their administration started deteriorating. Now, dear children, what happened there day by day? Maximum kingdom, it means the maximum princely state, are not working on their internal as well as on their external basis. It means what happened that here the absence of internal as well as the external threat, now they become more irresponsible of their administrative system, and that's why what happened that their fully administration work of the princely state started the deteriorating. And what was the meaning of deteriorating? Deteriorating, it means bigana, go down. The outcome of the conspiracy, outcome of the conspiracy, what was the meaning of conspiracy? Conspiracy, it means sajish, षड्यंत्र of the British was the anarchy. What was the meaning of anarchy? अराजकता फैलाना in the many princely state. Now what happened that, dear children, your many princely state are not doing their work on their basic administration system in the proper way. Second thing, the Britisher also started the conspiracy into the states. Conspiracy means sajish and षड्यंत्र, and that's why princely state not working the proper administration system. That's why the maximum state are deteriorating, and we know very well deteriorating, it means bigger now. And that's why what happened that Britisher was anarchy in the many princely state. The Indian ruler got trapped in it, and that's why what happened that maximum Indian princely state or ruler got trapped. Trapped, it means first jana into it. The British got an excuse to start interfering into the internal affair of the states, and that's why what happened there. Now Britisher got an excuse, and that's why they have to start the interfering on the internal affair of the states, of the states, on the pretext of putting an end to the anarchy. On what happened there, they have to putting the end on the basis of the anarchy. Anarchy, it means arajakta. They annexed the many states under the same excuse. And what happened that here, many princely states were annexed under the same excuses, and thereafter Burma, now Myanmar, and region of the Punjab were also annexed. And what happened that Britisher also Burma, it means now presently Myanmar, the region of the Punjab, were also annexed by the Britisher. If the king died without a son, dear children, this is the most important thing of the annexation policy of the Dalhousie. What if the king died without a son? King died without a son, state was annexed. And now what happened there? State was annexed by the Britisher. In this way, the Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur, etc. become the victim of the policy of the annexation. It means above all are the state. These all states are the victim of the policy of the annexation. And we know very well that what was the policy of annexation? Policy of annexation that if the king died without a son, his state was annexed by the Britisher. Dalhousie aimed at helping the British trader to make huge profit from the trade of the tea, coffee and cotton by capturing the area that produced these commodities on the large scale. Now what happened? Dalhousie's aim to help the British trader and make use more profit from the trade of the tea, coffee, cotton by capturing the area that produced this commodity on the large scale. To consolidate, consolidate, it means मजबूत करना the British rule in India, and to run the administration smoothly, many changes were introduced by Dalhousie in India. Now what happened then? To consolidate the British rule, consolidate यानी मजबूत करने के लिए ब्रिटिश रूल को, what happened that so many things of the administration system are smoothly changed and many changes were introduced by the Dalhousie in India. During his tenure, the first railway line was started between Mumbai and Thane in 1853. This is the most important thing. First railway line was started in India in which year? In 1853, between Mumbai and Thane, and this was started in the period of the Dalhousie. The modern postal system started in India after wireless systems between India and England. Two was introduced during his tenure. It means this all of the things were started during the Dalhousie's period, which starting of the railway, after postal system, after wireless system, this all things was introduced during the Dalhousie's period. He passed a law to ban the child marriage and advocate the widow remarriage. After there was also started the English education spread. There was also started that English education spread in India during this time. The first three universities in India were established in Mumbai, Chennai and Calcutta. Dear children, what happened there? English education is also spread during the Dalhousie's period. In same way, he also established the first three university in India. Where they established these three university? Mumbai, Chennai and Calcutta in the year 1857. In which year? 1857. Thus, this reform were basically for the expansion of the British rule. Whatever the reform done by the Dalhousie is all reform only for the basically for the expansion of the British rule and is in the administration. But although the Indian people also benefited later on for the reformer done by the British, and they had to suffer a lot with the introduction of the British reformers. After the next one, they have to given about the dissatisfaction of the people of the British rule or dissatisfaction of the people among the policy started by the Lord Wellesley by subsidiary alliance and the Dalhousie policy of the annexation. After the policy of the subsidiary alliance and Dalhousie policy of the annexation shook the whole nation terrible. It means whole the nation was the terrible. Terrible, it means the fearful, bhayanak. This resulted in the dissatisfaction among the people towards the Britisher, and that's why due to this both the policy subsidiary and the annexation policy, what happened that people toward the British are the more dissatisfied. You must have seen the film Kranti and the Mangal Pandey. If you have not seen, then try to see this movie. If you have not seen this movie, which Kranti and Mangal Pandey, then dear children, you have to see this movie. At this time, the people were suppressed under the dictatorial region of the British. Here what happened that, dear children? Here the maximum people were the suppressed under the dictatorial. What was the meaning of the dictatorial? Dictatorial, it means the Tana Sahi, the region. Region, it means the Sasan, Vyavastha, system of the British. In addition to that, the reform made by the Dalhousie added the fuel to the fire. Whatever the reform done by the Dalhousie, this reformer was added the fuel into the fire. Why? Because the different people react differently to the railway facility, post as well as the telegraph, as well as in the Western education system started by the Dalhousie. Means the different people give the different opinion, they were different thinking. That's why what happened that orthodox people, what was the meaning of orthodox? Orthodox, it means Ruddhivadi, Kattar Vadi. It means the orthodox people felt that the Britisher want to destroy their culture. What happened that, dear children? Here the orthodox people think that the Britisher wanted to destroy our culture. That's why the reform done by the Britisher were basically for the running the administration smoothly. Whatever the reform done by the Britisher done the reform only for the purpose of the running their administration smoothly, and that's why the dissatisfaction of the people had reached a point of the saturation and they were in the state of the rebellion which resulted in the freedom movement of 1857. What happened then? The dissatisfaction of the people had reached the point of the saturation. Now, what was the meaning of saturation? Saturation, it means paripurnta, santushti. And now they were in the state of rebellion. Now, what was the meaning of rebellion? Rebellion, it means withdraw, करना, revolt करना, which result in the freedom movement of the 1857. And this rebellion, this revolt result in the freedom movement in the 1857. Thank you for joining us.